Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Daily Bone Podcast, where we discuss all things crypto market. That includes the majors like Bitcoin. Are there any other majors right now? Who knows? Meme coins,
there's not.
NFTs. Today, we're going to talk about the global market meltdown over the last 24 hours, our targets for the local bottom, and some FUD from one of Bitcoin's biggest advocates. We have had some pain over the weekend. Yes, we have. I'm joined here by Clemente. Clemente, how are you feeling right now? What is your mind frame coming off of this almost record-setting, unprecedented weekend of just blood?
I don't feel too good, right? But at some point, I would actually argue that the stocks people are feeling worse than we are right now. I would almost guarantee that. I don't feel terrible actually, because I think the pain is close to being over, I would say. But I don't think we're going to see a V-shaped recovery, and I don't know anything necessarily about price action. I'm not a trader, but I don't feel terrible. I think the goal for me personally, and for maybe anyone listening, is figure out a way to make as much money as possible in the next 6 months. Sell drugs if you have to buy this dip, because this dip's going to be juicy, and it's a good opportunity. So that's my mindset. Sell everything you have. Sell all the assets, sell your couch, sell your silverware, and just buy some Bitcoin, baby.
I think I agree with you with the equities people. I think that we're used to volatility in crypto. Yeah. And like, this is just like a walk in the park for us. Like, oh, Bitcoin's down 10% over the last, however many days. We're like, yeah, we were born and molded by this. The equities, they're panicking now. They're like, oh man, like up only isn't happening. We're retracing 20% off of market highs. Like, what is going on?
We're like, I was thinking about it, and we're still how much Bitcoin's at what, 74K, 75K. That's still 10% above all-time highs from last cycle. There's no, like, I remember literally at this time last year, we were at these prices and celebrating it. And I think, I don't know what the dynamic is, but I think crypto, the fact that it's so volatile and we've been the underdog for so long, and we feel like the underdog, that I'm not worried about this. Like, I don't feel terrible about this dip. We're still, like, again, granted, if you're not holding Bitcoin, you're getting absolutely slaughtered. You're getting absolutely slaughtered. The ETH, seeing ETH dumping another 15%, Solana getting spanked. That's not good. That feels like shit. When you look at Bitcoin, it's still holding up very well.
Yeah, I mean, Solana going, like, flirting with double digits is crazy. I'm not holding as much in Solana now, or as much in ETH, really. Most of my exposure is in Bitcoin and cash, which like puts me in a position where I'm more comfy. I think we've kind of like talked about like trading a bit on the show, but also making sure that you like secure some profits and have cash for times like these. Like, you do make a lot of money in bull markets when everything's up only. But a good way to set yourself up is having cash for these moments, and then trying to figure out, like, okay, where am I going to start DCAing into this like massive fear? Because the best time to buy equities, best time to buy assets that you really believe in, is when you see this mass capitulation and mass fear. And
I remember you got dunked on, right? Remember you said when you said you sold all your Solana, you were getting called an idiot.
I was.
Boy, did it age well.
Yeah, that worked out well. I think that right now, just in terms of like vibes and like vibe trading, the timeline in crypto, like you said, just doesn't feel like we've hit like panic and capitulation. We are seeing like, lots of liquidations. We are seeing market go down. People thought that like we had finally weathered the storm, but we aren't seeing, like, we're seeing more hope right now. It's like everyone's like, okay, like, let's attack this market bottom. And that makes me nervous, because it's like, if people are like set on the 69K market bottom, 72K market bottom amidst all this panic, like, I'm very, very worried that we have more pain and more issues that could unravel. So I think like once you start seeing like capitulation and people like leaving crypto, being like, I'm done with it, like big names like being like, okay, I'm done with crypto, like that's when I think like max pain is, and that's when I'm like really interested in deploying. So like I'm kind of sitting right now.
But this is like when you look at like, this is not a crypto problem. This is a market problem, right? Like, the fundamentals for crypto haven't looked as good as they have looked this year, hypothetically speaking. When you look at like the sentiment of institutions adopting Bitcoin, when you look at people accepting crypto more widely and like being open to working within it, there is, I've never felt so much more hope for crypto as the industry, regardless of prices. Regardless of prices, I feel really good about where we're at and where we're going. The prices don't reflect that, but I still feel really like there's no doubt in my mind that like we're going to go, things are going to turn around and the industry is going to continue to mature. But like what during the FTX collapse, during like the bear market and all this stuff, the last 4 or 5 years, it was like, no, like the industry is smoked. Like Solana at $8, you were like, no, the Solana is going to zero. And that's, I think, the difference here. And maybe like, I'd be curious what the commenters think, like sentiment wise, how they feel about crypto, like in general. But yeah, to your point, we haven't reached that capitulation moment yet. It seems like sentiment wise.
Hey, big shout out to the crowd here. We got a comment on YouTube from Hubbenstein. I became a Bodoggo this weekend. Absolutely love to see that. Make sure you hop in the Discord and let's get chatting. Mad Perfect says market down so bad, Bodogos had to lay off their top talent hosts. I'd argue our top 2 talent hosts have been on all morning, to be honest. And speaking of which, welcome, Nick. How you feeling today during this market bloodbath?
You're going to start off by insulting me and then walking me?
Yeah, exactly.
That was ridiculous.
This weekend must have been so great that I can just jump in here and just like bring you down a peg or two, you know, after such just like a lovely weekend in terms of price action.
Well, I no longer own any ETH, so that's exciting. I think yesterday's dip on Bitcoin, or overnight, last night when I woke up in the middle of the night and was looking at the price action, it was crazy in terms of we had Solana down at 97. We had Ethereum down in the 1400s. I don't know. So I don't know when we hit the bottom. We're getting very close to some of the stuff that Easy and I had talked about. Basically, when this all started, like I hopped on a call with Easy. I was like, and we were like, let's do a quick charting session. And I was like, what are your levels? And I was sharing my levels. And we've basically almost hit all of them. Now, I don't know. Obviously, there's still this whole trade war thing going on. It's not done. And I don't think that these, it's very hard to call a bottom. I also think the way that the chart looks right now, you're not going to see just some rapid turnaround in this price action. Theoretically, ETH could, like, my next level on ETH is at 1121, which is pretty wild. Bitcoin, well, we almost hit it last night, which was around 73,500. Beneath that, it's 62,500, which is pretty crazy, but not all that crazy. And then, what were you gonna say, Clemente?
Can I give you your flowers real quick, Nick? I want to, Ray started off the show with some negativity. I want to bring that positivity up, right?
Okay.
I'm going to pull up a clip from March 3rd when Bitcoin was at $89,000 from Choose Rich Nick O'Neill. I'm just going to play this real quick.
When a tweet from Trump saying, I'm going to put Cardano in the crypto strategic reserve is the thing that you were waiting on. Holy shit, we're fucked. That's basically my kind of vibe. That's what I was feeling yesterday. I was like, I think it's time to get the fuck out of here in the short term because he doesn't rule with an iron fist. He doesn't put a cane down and say, and the commandment of Trump is that the U.S. will go spend $6 trillion pumping our bags. He can't do that. That's not how the government operates at this moment in time.
Turns out he can do the opposite.
Sideline sound money.
Anyways, I thought that was a good clip. Nick,
that was a clip. I don't know if that was the winning one, but appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you for giving me.
Hey,
thank you. Hey, you tried to give me a compliment.
Hey, I'm gonna get things back on the rails here. We're going to have Easy pull up our DYDX account after we run through the weather report with Clemente. But before we do, we're going to give one big shout out to the partner for today's show, DYDX. You've seen us trading on them. Easy's been crushing it. They just announced a new program, $20 million of rewards in the form of DYDX token is on the line over 9 one-month seasons. If you claim your spot on the leaderboard by trading on DYDX, you can earn a share of these rewards. There's a leaderboard live right now, powered by a third party that shows you the different rewards. The way to earn this is to take taker trades on DYDX, use the official web and mobile interfaces. This is rewarding retail versus people using their own APIs and contracts to automatically execute trades. So retail gets a bit of an advantage here. You can stake DYDX. You can trade in boosted markets that get announced periodically on their Twitter account. And if you were a past user for V3 or V4, earlier this year, if you come back and start trading, you're going to get a little bonus as well. So you can earn a part of $20 million in rewards on DYDX through their search program. Really excited to continue working with them. They've been always dropping new incentives, trading competitions. This one is just the latest. So hopefully we can rack up some of these with our trading account as well. And have Easy pull it up after the weather report. But without further ado, Clemente, let's take it away and get through the news so we can get to the meat and potatoes of this show.
Ray, absolutely. I thought you would never ask. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, April 13th.
Why don't you have me do it? I mean, what the hell? Go ahead.
Nick is a jackass. All right, you got the music? Where's the music?
Go ahead. No, just go.
Where's your music?
Play the music. Sorry.
Jerk.
I didn't mean to.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's Monday, April 7th. Looking over at the crypto roundup, the majors are down on the day. We got Bitcoin at 77K. It's not looking pretty. Ethereum just over $1,500, and Solana hovering at around 100 buckaroos over the past 24 hours. It's a disaster out there. Global equity markets suffered their worst losses in years, with China's stock market having its worst day since 2008. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index drops over 13% in its worst day since 1997.
Why did you laugh at that?
The Nikkei 225 drops over 7%, reaching lowest level since October 23rd. U.S. equities are down about 2% in pre-market trading. We're holding strong, folks. We're holding strong. U.S. investors are holding the line. Next up, crypto followed equities.
Are they?
As over $1.4 billion, don't interrupt the weather report, was liquidated from leverage trades as the crypto total market cap fell almost 9% on the day. Ethereum was hit the hardest as it fell below 1,500 bucks, and the ETH BTC ratio has now hit a 5-year low. It's going to zero, folks. Finally, some quantitative easing could be in play as rate cut odds have climbed amidst the market turmoil. The odds for 4 more rate cuts has jumped 57%, to 57%, and odds for an emergency rate cut have almost doubled to 26%. Fed will hold a scheduled closed board meeting today at 11 a.m. Eastern. It's nasty out there. Back over to you in the studio.
Excellent weather report as always. Even though Nick had some quips and comments during that. Lots to unpack here. Global markets have been absolutely nuking, I think, which was to be expected. Pre-market in the U.S. down 2 to 3%. We're down, to levels that we haven't seen in months. We're down in terms of losses, to worse than COVID. Easy and Nick, I'm really curious to hear your takes on this, looking at charts, looking at where you think we are and what is going to potentially mark a bottom or spur a return.
I'll let Easy go first.
Tariffs getting resolved would certainly mean a bottom. We know.
Hey,
that's
back
the
to you
issue.
in the studio.
Yeah, I don't really know what else you want me to say here. If we just stop with the tariffs, problem solved. I guess.
But we're bringing manufacturing back to the U.S. Easy.
All right,
Yeah,
so
that'll make everything cheaper. I saw the laptop I just bought for $2,000 will be worth about $17,000 if it was made in the U.S. And if you want a cell phone, it's actually about the same price as a used car, but the car has to be made in the U.S.
Dude, I got a Mac Mini and I haven't set it up yet. I think what I'm going to do is put it back in the box, hold on to that bad boy, wrap it up, and resell it
You telling me you can't make a 3x in this market? What's up?
I mean, that seems very promising. So yeah, that's are there tariffs on Rolexes?
No one wants to buy that shitty ass Rolex. Back over to you, Easy.
Well,
All right, Easy. You've been trading up on the DYDX account. Can you break down?
That was fucked up.
No,
Can you break
Nick's been pissing me off this morning. I'm sick. I tried to be nice.
Well, you know
I
what's
like
not
was trying
pissing
to
me
be
off?
nice
The
to
fact
him.
we're back above $5,000 in the DYDX account. That's what I'm talking about. If only I woke up at 3 a.m., we would have been up over 7K. Back
I
to
was
all-time
up
high.
at 3 a.m. and I thought it was over, and I was the right move would have been buy, but
We
I
wicked
can't.
low, dude. We wicked low. I woke up
Usually-
and was like, damn, the account was all-time high. What did I miss? Went and looked at the charts and was like, damn, all right. But I did cut the trades. I was short XRP and short short ETH. So I liked the XRP short. You can see I missed the bottom, but we sold last night after the initial dip, wrote it back up, and then it sold off even harder. Basically the same chart for everything. I just liked XRP because I don't believe in XRP. But that's just me. That's just me.
Usually-
the ETH short wasn't nearly as good. What?
9 times out of 10 we retest the wicks.
Yeah.
And so that's why, like, I don't know, I'm a little bit hesitant to just. I don't think it was necessarily the bottom. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Someone said the tariffs aren't even in effect right now. Yeah, we'll see what the deal is. I went shopping yesterday and we just stood outside the stores. You know, we looked into the windows at things that people once bought. And there were somehow still people buying things yesterday. Talk about good consumers. I saw a girl walk into Chanel and buy something. She like went in. She came out with a bag. I was surprised. I told her, "Do you know what the hell is going on in the market?" And she said, "Dude, I'm 16. What the hell are you talking about?"
Okay, no more talking to 16-year-old girls.
I already
What is
made the
going on?
joke. That was the joke. You decided to try and twist the joke.
You fucking creep.
Okay. All right. Guys, let's be serious, please. The market's crashing.
Okay. All right. Apologies for the derailing. Sorry, I'm doing some admin stuff on my side because I had an issue with getting logged out of Twitter on my desktop. So markets are melting down. We are seeing the odds for a rate cup jump. We have the Fed meeting at 11 a.m. today. This is a scheduled meeting. People are like making a big deal about this, but it's like a normally scheduled meeting. Maybe
Closed door.
Yeah, doors are closed. They didn't leave the door open for this one, so that so no one can like in the hallway can like peep in and hear. So closed doors. But I wonder how thick those doors actually are. So interested to see what's going to come out of that. When we'll hear from it.
Everyone's talking about my 16-year-old coming. Yo, if someone's in the store shopping, I'm just making an observation. I didn't stop to talk to her, but it looked like someone's child who was shopping at Chanel, which is a pretty like privileged childhood. I'm gonna be completely honest about that situation. Like that's an insane setup. Can you imagine just rolling in there at 16, pulling out the parents' credit card, just swiping that bad boy and being like, yeah, I just bought, a couple $1,000 shirts. I think that's a baller place to be.
Oh man. Yeah, I agree. Bring it back to crypto.
Hey, thanks for having that conversation with me. Appreciate all of you.
I've just never had the interest in like fancy clothes. Like fancy clothes have never done a thing for me. Like growing up, like the flashy stuff just never really got me going. Like if it's more money, like I don't know. I'm just all about like comfort.
I never bought stuff like that before either. What I'm saying is I think it's wild that there are people like I don't know, that there are kids that just casually go into these stores. I remember in New York, I tried to interviewing somebody coming out of the Gucci store when we did a shot of video in front of Trump Tower, and in Trump Tower, there's a Gucci store. And so as these kids come out who are like probably somewhere between 18, 22, they looked really young, and it looked like it wasn't their money that they were spending basically. And so I asked if they wanted to be interviewed for some video we were doing. They said no and kept on going, basically. but they had just basically like gone hard at Gucci, coming out with like 4 bags filled of stuff. And I'm like, how many kids have the ability to go into a store and drop even like $5,000 just casually on like a Thursday or something like that? I don't know. I think that's a crazy situation. I agree, Ray. I never was into that thing either. I still find it fascinating that there are like parents that are like, yeah, son, daughter, go do that. That's all good. And that's somehow like a good thing. I feel like it loses all meaning.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then you just become like desensitized to it, and then like that becomes your baseline. It's like Gucci clothes, and anything else is worse. We've got market open in 1 minute, which I'm pretty interested to see.
Are we
Easy, what
going
levels-
down or up?
Yeah, easy. What levels are you targeting on S&P? Other
0.
gaps you need to fill? Like, what level are you looking at here that makes
We're
you
kind of at this area that I've been watching on the S&P, which is why I'm like very interested here. Let's share this. Yeah, I mean, on the S&P,
49.50.
There we go. Yeah, so we got some green here. I mean, basically this whole area just opened. So we just got market open, another gap down. We have some pretty big gaps on the upside, but we're below this area that I've thought was an interesting buy zone on the daily, which is right here. Now we're under it. Next one would be down at like 460. So another 7% move down. If we go down another 7%, I think I'm just going to like be uncomfortably overinvested at this point.
Yeah.
Like I'm down to just buy down there. I'm like, fuck it. I'll probably pull the PO, mortgage the 401k, take the loan out or whatever the fuck he did to buy put options and sell them the wheel or whatever it was, and just dump it all into like a Tesla.
Actually, you know, you were talking about shorting the VIX. I think the other trade here is just sell an option, sell options on a stock. What's that?
I would sell calls on the VIX. Premium's got to be pretty high because of the volatility. But I think the VIX cools off. Like, dude, this like
no. What I'm saying is you can the premium built into any option is going to be crazy high right now. So I'm saying, what's like a stock that you have any interest in buying? Basically, let's go find one of those, because I was looking at some of them and the premium for 1 week options was like insane. And so I was just like, yeah, let me just sell some of those and make a couple grand real quick, because that's the price that these options are going for right now. So like, what are some stocks that we can actually look at that we could maybe like scalp? Because I made money on that Fiverr trade. And I think there's more action here. Obviously, I got screwed on Shopify because I did not think through that trade. That was pretty dumb. And I closed the position just because I was like, I don't even want to get the shares I'll just buy the shares. But yeah, what like, are there any companies that you're like, yo, this is very interesting? Even the tech, the like tech stocks or anything? Maybe Microsoft?
to be honest, like not really Microsoft, I guess. Maybe Microsoft.
Microsoft is actually super interesting because they're a software company. They're not a hardware
good equity
company.
in OpenAI too. Is that them?
They do have equity in OpenAI.
So that would be the most interesting one, would be on Microsoft. Apple is like not really, because all like the tariffs are gonna fuck Apple pretty hard. Yeah, I just saw Sound Money post that too. Pakistan has appointed CZ as their strategic advisor on crypto.
Really?
Yeah, I guess.
Pakistan.
Yeah.
I think Microsoft, holy shit, down at 350 from 470. This is yeah, I mean, I will sell puts here. Is a very interesting thing. The next level on Microsoft is down at 310. I don't think they weather these storms typically pretty well. We're actually at a key level right now. So this is a super interesting one for me to just have some options. Yeah, it could go down to 310, but I don't know. I think the 1 week options, I'm gonna actually take a look at this right now, see if there's an opportunity to sell some puts, because with volatility like this, the premium is going to be so fucking huge for anything at this moment in time.
Yeah.
What about something like Nvidia?
Nvidia is an interesting one, except that they are definitively impacted by the tariffs. However, I don't know. I mean, yeah, if you want Nvidia, that's actually a really interesting one. That was one of the highest premiums I saw last week. Same day expiration had insane premiums basically, and I was like, "What? This is crazy." They may still actually have that. Let's take a look at like some of the this to me is like basically, well, I don't want to call it free money, but because I'll end up getting completely screwed.
Down
But
below
yeah.
4,900 on the S&P, continuing to go down. Crypto
Yeah, you're
hovering
gonna get
around
some-
same levels now. Bitcoin 77K still.
So 4-day put option is the current level is basically $480 on Nvidia. So that's the premium that you're getting for giving somebody the option to sell at the current price until I guess Friday. What are 7, 8, 9, 10? Yeah, Friday options are $500 right now.
And what's the how much you need to put into that?
What's that? Well, you
What's
don't
the
need to put
investment?
if you have margin, it doesn't matter. But basically, if you were to be assigned the shares, you would be paying. Well, it's going beneath it right now. But you would pay $8,800 to buy the stock.
Right.
So I think this is like a really interesting thing to be trading some of these, and Microsoft. Wow, they're at 348. So these options are going to be.
What about looking at Tesla and MicroStrategy? I feel like those premiums have to be jacked up even higher, right?
Well, yeah, Tesla is an insanely volatile stock. I don't want Tesla shares though. Unlike Pio likes trading the Tesla options. I'm not interested in that pretty much at all. I think it's best if you're literally selling stuff that you could be assigned on, you should be looking at stuff that you want, like that you want to own, would be the best place to be. And ideally, if you're not looking to be too overexposed, because these options, you're looking for stocks that are sub $100 or less, basically, because then like your max exposure is 10 grand. Because you may get assigned those actual shares. But I love the idea of doing this for just generating like temporary income and buying low. And if you end up being forced to buy, you're basically like you're getting paid to buy the shares, which I just think is very interesting on the way down. And it's a great way to enter into those positions or just make money while the market's going down.
Right. So it's basically optionality. You can either DCA in, which you're looking to do anyway right here, or you're getting paid just to risk capital, essentially. But the risk is you get the shares you wanted anyway. So yeah, not a bad idea if you're looking to enter anyway. You just lose.
Disney is at all-time lows. This is I traded this for a bit during COVID. We're hitting a bottom that we've hit before with Disney at $79, and I mean that one ran up to like 190. But like some of these stocks, you can end up like they're definitively gonna return back. Amazon's a tough one because half their shit is from China. So that's the one that I'm a little bit like, I don't know how to, although AWS is their cash cow. So does it really matter? I don't know. Are there any companies you're interested in? Easy?
To be honest, it's more just like the major stuff. Like the S&P, I'd be looking for slowly accumulating on that at this point. Like when it comes to equity stuff, I'm like such a boomer with it, to be honest. I don't really chase a lot of individual stuff right now. I like Tesla personally after this 50% retracement, but the VIX puts are where I'm like most interested. Like that's probably a trade I'm gonna end up making short term here.
Google, like, dude, the pullback on Google is substantial. Historically, all these sorts of pullbacks have immediately turned around. I'm very like, can it go lower? Yeah, I guess what you're always looking at is the potential of a, that we're literally entering the Great Depression. Is where you would need to go on these things. It's not an impossibility. I guess if you want, you could also buy insurance against that happening. What if we get a full capitulation? Just
go to our
we get 15 rate cuts and quantitative easing.
go to our Great Depression insurance salesman. Hit him up. Got him on speed dial.
Who's that?
I don't know. Polymarket maybe.
Yeah, dude, crypto is also just continuing the freaking sell off. Solana, the 100 level is like interesting. Are you still targeting 85 here, Easy? Is that
88 is like the number.
The Fibonacci's for me have it going potentially lower, but
Ansem's calling for 50 now.
He's getting ridiculous though with his numbers, dude.
Well, the numbers are going to keep going down as we go down because we're going to say, okay, the number is 88 or the number is 70. And then we're going to, okay, well, the next number down here is 50, you know?
No, my level would be around 65 is where we're headed on this one on the Fibonacci's.
Gotcha.
Clemente is a big fan of the Fibonacci.
My saying is like, once we get to that level, the next thing to do logically is like, okay, well, what's our next level down?
Yeah.
Or you're
but then
putting
the
a line
same
in the
thing
sand.
happens
You're
where
saying
just
you're saying
keep
80. You're saying 85 or 65. That's the line in the sand where I'm just deploying. And
you end up just getting cooked because you keep waiting for a lower bottom that never comes. And you're just like, it ends up bouncing. And you're like, well, no, this bounce is fake. And it's just like in a bull market, you become too cynical. Like we saw a ton of people do that when it came to like the S&P during COVID.
yeah, so
I
we
mean,
dropped down. What was that? 35%. We wicked down to on the S&P during COVID. Let's pull that up.
Yeah.
I will say though, like buying Bitcoin to me is almost comparable to buying Solana at this moment in time. Like, like how much more of a multiple does Solana give? That said, during the runs up, Solana's been the strongest player. That's why I sold my ETH yesterday. Like,
Sold all your ETH?
yeah, I have none.
I'm officially down 50% of my USD value on this CryptoPunk.
Well, my whole CryptoPunk trade just completely got like I netted flat on the whole thing. I put 90K in or bought the punk. I sold it for 130K, held the ETH. The ETH fully retraced, and I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, I can't keep holding on to Ethereum here. I've been wondering where do I move that into Solana, or I think I'll probably add a little more Bitcoin as well. I keep buying Bitcoin as it drops. I want to have, I don't know, is everyone's goal like 10 Bitcoin? I don't know.
5
I think
is where
everyone
I
has
like to
different
be.
goals depending on where they are, but
I want to be at 5 personally.
I'm basically there, so yeah.
Just because I think I'll always just like alts more. That's just me though. Like I like the upside potential on alts. I like the volatility on alts more. I just enjoy trading alts more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think like I'd rather continue to have more exposure there than like just pure Bitcoin. Like, dude, I don't know. I just get bored of Bitcoin. As crazy as that sounds.
Well, yeah, it's not an exciting thing. It's literally the least exciting thing. It's just buy and hold Bitcoin. Like there's
It's
no
like the treasury bond of crypto.
Yeah, except it moves quite different.
Yeah, it's like a 1-week treasury bond.
Yeah,
I mean,
these things. Yeah, it moves a lot. I mean, I could just add another Bitcoin here, but I think I've just been gradually adding. I'll add a 0.1 Bitcoin right now. But dude, I mean or we're gonna say.
Looking at Bitcoin dominance is 63% is wild. This is back to like 2021 levels and like early 2021 levels before like the run up, which is absolutely crazy to see with where like the current landscape is in crypto. And like you got to know that an alt season is coming. Like it has to come. I feel like the way regulations have been making it easier for something like this to happen. Like yes, like right now the safe play is Bitcoin, and like you're looking at this chart and it's been up only for over almost 2 years now. So like I don't think I'm going to be adding Bitcoin on this dip as much as I would be adding, like you said, I think Solana is like very interesting to me. Ethereum sub $1,000, very interesting to me, where you get a bit more upside. Like I still hold, like right now I'm holding Bitcoin and cash mainly. So like I'm looking to move more risk on as we get lower.
I'm just looking at the I mean stocks are still, dude, these gaps are crazy on the on SPY.
There's too many.
Looking at daily gaps,
the gaps keep gapping.
Yeah, there's just too many.
It looks like it's like a faucet that's just dripping, and it's eventually just going to puddle down here somewhere.
How about Fartcoin? What are we seeing on that action right now?
Fartcoin's actually held up.
Fartcoin looks great, dude. It's holding up. It's green.
It's green today.
It was up 10% earlier today on the 24-hour as everything was melting. I think it's closer to even now.
I've been thinking about aping a sizable amount into Fartcoin.
Fartcoin is the best store of value in crypto.
I mean,
I need a Fartcoin Bitcoin chart.
Look at this. This has been just like a stable coin for the past like couple weeks.
It's actually insane how well it's doing.
Yeah, we hit a local bottom on the 10th of March. So it's almost been a month of up only.
Seeing this action, I'm like, yeah, let me put in 20 grand more into Fartcoin. To me, it's like if you're gonna go for altcoins, I'm looking for at least 10x basically. Yeah. Like because Bitcoin is gonna give you a 5x. Like
how long though?
For Bitcoin?
Yeah.
I would say 12 months. Okay. I don't know, 12 to 18 months. So you're basically getting a 5x on Bitcoin, which is 12 to 18 months is insane performance for your portfolio.
I like 300-400% or x. Yeah. I mean 300 to 400x. Like 5x, dude. I don't think you can get me out of bed for a 5x at this point.
So it says relax, bro. 5x on Bitcoin.
I think with Fartcoin, I want to buy it once we see one of these candles, like of this magnitude that we saw, like January 13th,
like a good buy,
January 2nd, December 24th, and
then what do you mean, like a huge wick up?
Yeah, huge wick up. Like I want to see it really break the trend, because I'm worried that like people are doing what you guys are doing, but it just doesn't like it's played out to where it doesn't have that same hit when it hits like mainstream media again. It's like, oh, Fartcoin again, as opposed to like the first time when it's like, yo, look at this coin named Fartcoin that's at 2 billion. This is wild. Like that might not hit as hard just getting back there. But if we do see like that massive pump up leading into it, I could see chasing it.
Yep.
Because like we ran here. So January 12th, 810 million. January 19th, 2.6 billion. That's 7 days on basically a 3x. So I'm willing to like take a more like concentrated risk. I'm not getting in at like the price here, but basically trying to ride that momentum of the run up.
What is how's MicroStrategy looking?
I think it's holding up well comparatively. Here's the daily on MicroStrategy. I mean, it's looking a lot more like Bitcoin, essentially. It just looks like the Bitcoin chart. Would you be interested in puts on MicroStrategy DCAing in here?
You see Beanie basically saying MicroStrategy is fucked.
Really?
They didn't buy
Yeah.
any Bitcoin last week. He was saying they're going to get closer and closer to the average buy price. Has he said something this morning, or are you just talking about?
I think it was last night he said something.
S&P having some strong movement here, by the way.
Yeah, I mean, so yeah, I was curious to see how much Bitcoin Saylor bought last week. He didn't buy any last week. Feels inevitable he's gonna get back. His cost basis gets breached soon, and yet many are still playing 2x NAV premium for the stock. It should trade at a discount to NAV given the illiquidity of the assets and the other risks. He's been a notable MicroStrategy bear, and he believes MicroStrategy is going to unwind and cause kind of a black swan event.
The black swan thing to me is weird because
I don't think it happens.
It's 0% interest that he effectively has set up. So I don't understand why there would be some massive deleveraging associated with it. They're also like, how long are those contracts? They're like 5 years.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Saylor gets hit by a truck and the new CEO says, I want to get out of this. Like, there's a lot of things that can happen. Like, it's not just like if the market plays out naturally and Bitcoin goes down, are we at risk? It's like existential problems or existential issues that could come up and just like completely flip things.
I guess you need the hit by a truck insurance. That's always a valid concern.
Yeah, key man risk is what it's called.
Yes. I do. Yeah, I don't know. Beanie's just been like a super bear on it.
I mean, he's been pretty spot on with a lot of takes lately, though. Like he was calling back to some of his ETH calls from a year ago that basically played out almost exactly how he called it out.
What did he say?
I'm gonna pull it up now. Basically, he said short ETH, long Bitcoin, and I think it's like ETH's down 40% from there. I'm trying to pull up the exact tweet.
Someone said, "Let Clemente speak." We're not stopping him. This guy's just like sipping on a freaking easier muted.
Clemente just doesn't give a shit about anything, man.
Oh shit.
That's all I'm saying. No, I have nothing to add to this conversation you guys are talking about. Bitcoin's going to go higher. I just want to try to make as much money as possible in the next 6 months. We just got to stack that cash, buy Bitcoin. The thing that was interesting, I listened to this Lutnick guy talking to Tucker Carlson this weekend about tariffs and basically the biggest quote there that they're talking about and that people have been talking about. Sorry, Scott Bessent. The biggest quote that's been circulating on Twitter and that
The iPhone screws?
No. Basically saying that the stock market is a Mag 7 problem, not a MAGA problem. And that he said that basically that the stock market, the top 10% owns 88% of the stock market. And the remaining 12% of the stock market's owned by the remaining 40%, and the rest of 50% of America is in debt. So they don't care about this. Like they're basically trying to reshape and bring like they're trying to everything they're doing here is to try to make the life better for the bottom 50% of America. That's just in shambles basically. And people that are in debt right now, they couldn't care less about the stock market crash. They care zero about this. So if half of America literally doesn't care about the stock market crashing and it's only these rich people, that is interesting.
Jobs and food.
It would be the employment side of things, but that was one of the things that stuck out to me with how they were talking about it.
Who are the business people that are going to set up these factories, though?
What they were saying about the setup factories or like
loans for industrial space.
Americans are like, yeah, we're just going to get like, how are we going to pay Americans? Well, what he was saying was these factories are going to be smarter factories and are going to be like way automated versus, so we won't have to employ as many Americans with like, and try to compete with the wages that China pays. He was saying that China is basically going to implode with the tariffs that we're giving them, because we're basically propping up the Chinese economy by buying all of these things from them, and that China's manufacturing too much, but like within their own country, they don't consume nearly enough. So if we turn off our consumption from China to a certain extent, China just basically won't be able to hold it together. So I thought that was interesting. But from the other side of it, like, it doesn't sound like the tariffs are going to stop anytime soon from Trump. Like, he's not going to back down.
Yeah, which is the it does have a pretty like, if you were to actually see this through, it does reshape the way that a lot of our products are made, and where we get them from. That said, the problem is in the short term, there's no replacement of those purchases. So like of the actual products. Like, it's not like the cheap Amazon basic suitcases are suddenly going to be manufactured by a company in Ohio, at least as far as I'm aware. Like, it's not like we set up infrastructure here that was ready to materialize that. So what does the interim transition look like? And how does that actually like play out? And I think there's a lot of people that are like living on, like, the people that are broke buy a lot of those products, basically. Like, what is Walmart's store filled with? A bunch of Chinese manufactured products, basically. Like, I don't know what you end up, how you end up offsetting that. And like, the idea that we're suddenly going to instantly transition to manufacturing that in the US, to me, is a pretty wild proposition. And you also then have like the raw supplies, wherever that's coming from. So I don't know. It's not as straightforward. The talking points on this are conceptually, it makes a lot of sense. And there's obviously a rationale that you can articulate for it. I think the best outcome would be if they actually get some of these countries to eliminate tariffs and you got full free trade. That would be really interesting. It's not going to help US stuff, but I feel like, dude, what are we going to, like, we're going to revert back to pre-Chinese manufacturing? Like,
well, maybe like this is a wake up call. Like, we've seen Trump like rubber band back and forth so much with these things. They're like, hey, look at this. Look what can happen like in a blink of an eye. Maybe it's time to invest in US infrastructure. If you're somebody out there who is like potentially capable of doing this, why not set up shop in the US? This is what the future could potentially look like, and this could be good in the US in the long term. I don't know if he has his like line in the sand, if he's drawing like battle lines here for the long term on these tariffs, or if he's using it as like a mechanism to both improve the current state of trades and then like slowly get infrastructure built in the US going forward.
There is a practical argument where you said, like, there's conversations that he's talking about with reducing the corporate capital gains rate. There was a joke going around yesterday about how I think Trump had tweeted something about how like his goal is to eliminate capital gains for the year. I don't know if that was a real tweet, but everyone was in the US, and everyone was like, well, doesn't matter what the rate is, because we all have no capital gains regardless based on your policies. So, but there is an argument to be had that where they're talking about lowering the corporate capital gains rate to make it more compelling, more business friendly in the US. There's a lot of legitimate, I think, positions that they have. The problem is the way that they're doing it is with just like one full swing. And there's also talks of basically saying that like Trump can't unilaterally, like the Congress wants to somehow like.
Real quick, the S&P is fucking sending off the gap.
Everything's sending right now. Crypto,
Yeah.
up Bitcoin up to 78K.
Big old candles right now.
Oh yeah.
Sold
look at
back
this.
above its 100-day moving average.
Yo, we're giga sending right now. Holy shit.
Bitcoin
Trump.
back over 78K.
Trump did it again.
4D chess, y'all just wouldn't get it. Reciprocal tariffs for municipal growth.
For municipal growth. What?
I just wanted a word that was similar.
Yeah, definitely seeing some action on the majors on the S&P right now. I didn't see any news come out. I didn't see your bots share anything, Nick, that's been breaking. I see banks postponing a $1.1 billion loan sale for Converge Tech. I've never heard of that before. That's all I'm seeing in terms of news on my side.
Solana's back at 102. This is the bull market has returned.
You missed your chance.
Wow.
To buy.
102? It's 106, Nick.
Oh, you're right. 106. Wow.
That 4% matters, damn it.
Ooh, yeah. Ooh, farty coin. Farty coin is up 16%.
What is Farty coin?
Since we started talking about Fartcoin at 450, we have now went from 450 to 516 in roughly 13 minutes.
No, I think, yeah.
Dude, I'm a genius, dude. Put all my money into Fartcoin. Holy shit. Is that the candle you were looking for, Ray?
No, not yet. Let's zoom out. Here's the candle, daily candles I'm looking for. Oh man. We're looking at let me find a ruler.
Ray's going to buy it when it's up 75% in 24 hours.
Yeah, I don't
Yep,
understand.
He's like, yeah, instead of buying here, I'm looking for a clear breakout.
We're looking for a 28% or more on the daily for Fartcoin. Is what I'm looking at.
I'm down so bad on Solana in my meme coin wallet, but I'm buying another. I'm just continuing to DCA into Fartcoin.
Damn, how much have you been buying, Nick? What's your bag worth right now?
That's not a ton.
I got cooked on. I bought like $1,000 worth last week, and I'm down like 30% on it.
I don't really care. I've bought $5,500. I might buy another like 10 grand.
I do like that. Well, you saw it last week. We got to wrap, Ray, but we saw it last week. We have a call with people saying literally Fartcoin was holding up. All the headlines were like, people, while everything is tanking, this thing called Fartcoin is holding up. Like U.S. investors are going to Fartcoin. So anyways.
Okay. Well, we saw the blood. We saw a rally. We gave you our opinion on the market. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be doing the show every day this week and every weekday, 9 a.m. Eastern time, Monday through Friday. Catch us on all major podcasting platforms, Spotify, Apple. Watch us back on YouTube. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch you again tomorrow. Have a wonderful Monday.